Good afternoon and welcome back to Quarantined with the Edge. It is Steam Monday. So I have an interesting mathematics project today. I don't even know how well I'm going to do this, but let's give it a shot. So today is going to be a delicious mathematics day. How many times have you eaten too much candy? And when your parent says, "How much candy have you eaten?" Well, today we will find a way to calculate and tell them exactly how much you have actually eaten. So what we need is some candy, of course. So we're going to get some M&Ms. We're going to get 100 M&Ms into a small dish and then separate another 10 M&Ms into another measuring cup with 100 milliliters of water, preferably some clay, but I don't have clay at home, so I'm going to use a hot dog bun and a ruler with a metric ruler for calculations as well. So to start off, we're going to try to measure the volume of a single M&M. We're also going to need a piece of paper, and we're going to need to make a little graph on it. So we're going to start it off to figure out the volume. So let's see. So we're going to start off with 100 milliliters of water and 100 M&Ms. Now we're going to, let me get this on video here. We are going to take 100 M&Ms and pour them into, I know, you don't want to eat this after that, so we're wasting 100 M&Ms to be honest. But we're going to pour 100 M&Ms into 100 milliliters of water, and we are going to figure out how much. We're going to let it drop. All right. So it's somewhere between 150 and 200 milliliters. It's just above 150, so I'm going to say it's 160 milliliters, right? So I'm going to write that down on my little piece of paper here. I'm making some graphs here. So volume of 100 M&Ms then would be, so I got 160 and I started off with 100. So now the volume is going to be the difference. That's 60 because I started off with 160. I started off with 100. It's now at 160. So the volume of 100 M&Ms is 60 milliliters. So now the volume of 1, I'm going to divide 60 divided by 1. I'm going to use my calculator because whatever. That's not right. Hold on. Divided by 1 equals 60. That can't be right. Hold on. I should be. All right. Oh, 100. That's what I'm doing. So I'm supposed to divide 60 over 100. Keep dividing by 1. Okay, so the volume of 1 M&M is 0.6 milliliters. So now the actual volume, we have to figure out the actual volume. So to do that, so 1 for the actual volume, use the value determined step 1. No, 1 milliliter is the same as 1 cubic centimeter. So even though you determine the actual volume of M&Ms in milliliters, you can write this in cubic centimeters instead. So how do I figure that out? Oh boy. Yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing on this one, guys. Sorry. So 1 milliliter is the same as 1 cubic centimeter. Okay, so it's 0.6 cubic centimeters. That would be the actual volume. 0.6 cm to the third. So when 1 M&M is 6/10 of a cubic centimeter. So if you eat 100 M&Ms, you can tell your parents that you ate 60 cubic centimeters of M&Ms. Now another way of measuring this is now we're going to use measure with diameter. So we're going to take 10 M&Ms and we're going to line them up across my hot dog bun. See if you can see this. So I'm going to line them up right next to each other so that the edges are touching. Why is a hot dog bun not long enough to measure 10 M&Ms? I don't know. That would be another experiment, I guess. Alright. So I've lined up my 10 M&Ms, so I'm going to press them in. This is just to really keep them soft. I think Play-Doh or clay is better. It's better for lining these up, but whatever, I don't have that, so this is just to like keep them in place. So now, let's see. We're going to measure these in centimeters, so let me see. This is a very old ruler and it's very hard to read. That's millimeters. Alright, so well, millimeters is just 1/10 of a centimeter. Okay, so I'm going to line this up. So now I've got 130 millimeters, which is 13 centimeters. So the diameter of 10 M&Ms is 13 centimeters. So the diameter, we're going to divide 13 divided by 10. So the diameter of one M&M is 1.3 centimeters. So now we're going to find the radius. So we're going to divide 1.3 by 2. So the radius of 1 centimeter is 0.65 centimeters. Now we're going to change this up. So we just did the long side of these. So now we're going to do this the short side. So we're going to do it, so we're going to stand them on like an edge and line them all up next to each other like this. And then we're going to take this measurement and we're going to figure out the radius of an M&M this way in centimeters. Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. Alright, so I've got them all lined up. Going to take my ruler using millimeters, and I've got, what's that, 65, 66, so I'm going to say 6.6 centimeters is the diameter of 10, so now I'm going to take 6.6 and divide it by 10 to find the diameter of 1, which is 0.66. And now I'm going to divide that by 2 to find the radius. So the radius of one M&M is 0.33 centimeters. Alright, so now we've got all of our data. So we've got that the actual volume of an M&M is 0.6 cubic centimeters. So now we are going to find, what else do we need to figure out? The cylinder, right? So we found out the radius, so now we're going to find out the cylinder and the ellipsoid calculations here. So let's see, I have a special thing, I'm going to put it on the base radius is, oops. So the base radius is I got to change that to centimeters. 0.65 centimeters, and then the height, did we find out the height? Oh, the height would be the diameter, so that's 1.3. Oops, 1.3. So the cylinder volume is 1.73 cubic centimeters. So now we're going to do this for the ellipsoid volume. Where'd you go, ellipsoid volume? There you are. Alright, so I'm going to change all this to centimeters. So let's see. So A looks like it is the radius. So that's the short side we're doing now. So the radius for the short side, oh no, that's the radius for the long side. So the radius for the long side is 0.65 centimeters. Acts as axis 2, so B is the radius of the short side, which is 0.33 centimeters. And axis C is again the radius of the long side, which is 0.65. So that gives us, so the ellipsoid volume is, let's see, 0.584. So we'll just round that up to a 0.58. So 0.58 cubic centimeters. So we have three different, so we have the actual volume, which is 0.6 cubic centimeters, the cylindrical volume, which is 1.73 cubic centimeters, then the ellipsoid volume is 0.58 cubic centimeters. So it sounds like these two are the best ways, because we got two very similar results, right? They're off by about 0.02 of a cubic centimeter. So I guess when your parents ask you, so one M&M has a volume of 0.59 cubic centimeters. So next time they ask you how much you ate, if you figure out how many of these you ate, you just multiply that by 0.59 and you can tell them that you ate whatever, 5.9 cubic centimeters of M&Ms, and I'm pretty sure that will get them off your back. I hope you enjoyed this, so try it at home and try to figure out what other candy you can use to try to figure out the similar way what the cubic volume is so that you can stump your parents with that. All right, take care.